Hey everybody, David G here, founder of the Internet Marketing Party, and I'm absolutely thrilled today to be bringing you our very special guest speaker for the month of April 2013. His name is Justin Brooke, and I'm extremely happy to be welcoming you, Justin. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the...
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I call it a show. I don't know. I called it. I've never said that. But here's the deal. Justin today is going to reveal for you how to stop fighting for crumbs in a small, crowded niche markets by making your product irresistible to the masses. Now, that's a pretty bold claim that he's going to show you in the next 10 to 15 minutes, so make sure you stay tuned. Here's why Justin has the chops to pull this off. Justin has been online for how long?
2005, so about 7 years now.
About 7 years. He took $60 and turned it into six figures. And just a couple days ago, I heard through the grapevine, through a very reliable source, found out that Justin turned away with, happy to turn away a $15,000 cash upfront client. And we were just having a conversation about it, is because he only likes to work on projects where he knows he can bring results. And now that same client is like saying, no, I'll pay you more. And Justin's like, I have more business than I need. And here's why. Justin has taken, just as one example, he turned a sinus relief pill, a sinus relief pill offer into a mass appeal offer that everyone wanted to hear about. And in brass tacks, it had no conversions, and so they had no marketing budget at all. They were just doing a little small AdWords campaign. And now they're spending 5 figures a month on email drop. That's how well it's converting. So that's directly 100% as a result of Justin's effort. And you want to pull out a pad and paper and start taking notes, I highly recommend it, because this is one of those talks where I'm like ready to, I'm ready to learn. We were brainstorming how to frame what he's talking about. And what he's going to talk about at the actual Internet Marketing Party is how not to lose your ads in media buying. So Justin, I'll stop talking now, and you want to take it away and just kind of loop in why we're starting here and how it's going to relate to the actual your talk at the party.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry if anybody hears the lawn guy here. He hasn't been around in 2 weeks. Of course, as soon as I start making a video, the lawn guy's like right out front doing the one section in front of my window. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the way that this all relates is, the speech that I give on stage is how not to lose your ass in media buying. And inside there, we talk about, the different types of traffic that are out there. We talk about cold traffic versus warm traffic. And we talk about how to give your product that mass appeal so that you can use the power of the whole internet. When I say the power of the whole internet, I mean you're able to, drive traffic from many more sources. See, a lot of times when I see a lot of products, everybody was taught to create a niche product and then niche it down within the niche. And so, like, even inside real estate, you have short sales, you got wholesaling, you got all these other niches inside that one niche, which real estate is inside of a larger niche, the wealth building niche. And so anyways, what you end up creating is you have this product, and your headline might be discover the secrets to making $1,000 with short sales. But if you go to the mall, and we were just talking about this, if you go to the mall and I start screaming, discover the short sale secrets to making $1,000 overnight, everybody's just gonna go back to eating their Chinese food or whatever they're eating in the mall food court. But what you've got to be able to do is you've got to be able to relate what it is that you do to something that everybody would want to pay attention to. And should I talk about the sinus relief pill to kind of give some context to that?
I just want to give a tip of the hat to Nate Jurowitz, leopard hair guy, because that's who we were talking about, a past speaker. And I just want to make sure that listeners that are tuning in right now and watching understand that there's two different types of traffic, right? We were talking about that. You want to just give people an insight into that so that there's kind of like a big picture context as to why we're talking about making your offer wide appeal?
Yeah. So a lot of people, they're doing JV deals, and JV deals are great. You can make a lot of money with them, but they're actually very expensive. And, we can talk about that in just a minute. But with a JV deal, there's only so many times you can go back to John and say, hey, John, will you promote this product? After a while, John's going to be like, look, I've already promoted that a couple of times. They've seen that. Do you have anything new? So then you have to create a new product, and you kind of get on this over and over, a new product, finding a new JV, reciprocating for that JV. It becomes almost like a job that you can never stop. If you ever do stop doing it, then the money stops. And with paid traffic, the other side of the coin, it takes longer in the beginning, and it's a little harder to figure out. But once you get it dialed in, once you know that for every 75 cents you spend, you're making $1.25, you're off to the beach. If you look at a guy like Mike Geary from Truth About Abs, he doesn't have to worry about JVs and, his next product launch. Like Truth About Abs has been around for years now, and it's constantly been at the top of the ClickBank market, and that's because he's got his numbers dialed in. And so you can then it's more like that set it and forget it. But it takes a little bit more work in the beginning, but once you get it dialed in, it's over. You can go, you can retire.
So that makes it to where in the sinus relief pill that we've been talking about, and for those of you watching right now, Justin's actually going to guide you through a process. I just pulled a fast one on him right before we hit record, and I was like, can you walk people through a process that anyone watching this video can take their offer, and assuming it's pretty niche down, and open it up to a bigger audience, so that then they can end up coming to the party and learning how to not lose their ass in media buying, because media buying is a tricky game. It's like if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose a lot of money real fast, which is why people go to the JV game, because it feels less risky and it feels cheaper, because I only pay if they make a sale, right? But you're paying 50 to 75%. Right, or if it's a physical product, 10 to 15%, but that's a lot, Yeah,
and not only that, then you gotta reciprocate for your top 10 people, and
their offer might be too competitive. It might turn off your list, and your list is your biggest asset, and
right, yeah.
And that's kind of weird, because my business is doing JV and affiliate management. So there's a time and a place. It's not that there's it's not that JVs are bad. It's just, if that's your only source of business, it's not a safe way to be running a business.
The way I see it is the JVs is like the fundraiser. You can make a lot of money in the beginning, so that you can you can make a lot of money in the beginning with the product launch, and fund all your paid traffic efforts, so that you can then get that long-term growth trend. And then also, while you have paid traffic going, you do the JVs for these big boosts of cash infusions, so that you can upgrade your product. And JVs are great, product launches are great, but you also need the paid traffic side. If you really want to go big, get both of them going, and you'll explode. The biggest thing that I hear from everybody when I talk about this is, my product is different. This won't work for my product. Look, I've done this for sinus relief pills. I've done this for life insurance. I did this for a lawyer who wanted to get attention of people who might be owed money from the BP oil spill. So I could do this for any product. It just takes a little time to think about what's going on and how do you get attention.
Do it for a photographer that wants to do headshots, or you could do it for a massage therapist in a medium-sized town. You could do it for a realtor. You could do it for somebody who's got a product on how to hypnotize yourself to lose weight, or anything you're saying. Absolutely. If you could do it for a sinus pill, or an attorney looking for BP oil spill victims, jeez, come on.
Yeah, period. If I could do it for a sinus relief pill, I don't know of many things on the internet more boring than sinus relief or sinus treatment. So let me just tell a little bit about that story. So the way it worked is, they were selling it on Google AdWords a little bit, but they couldn't really get a lot of traffic for it. And the problem with it is, you have to get the ad in front of somebody when they're having the sinus infection, because if they're not in pain at that moment, they don't really care about it, and then they're not taking it daily, because they're only taking it when they have the sinus infection, and they needed people to be taking it daily, and they felt like people should be taking it daily. So I sat back for a little bit, and I went kind of back to my cave, and I started thinking about what do the sinuses do for people? What is the role that sinuses play? And, I came to, did some research and learned about it. I was reading like some anatomy stuff, and basically your sinuses are like an air filter. And I was like, no, they are a personal gas mask. And so that makes it a little bit sexier. And it's like, okay, well, what would we need like a personal gas mask for? What are they filtering out? Well, your sinuses are filtering out. This gets a little gross here, but your sinuses are filtering out fungi, viruses, bacteria. So your sinuses are almost saving your life. Like now you can start getting people's attention, how your nose can save your life. And I was like, okay, well, so like we start playing with it a little bit. And I was like, okay, well, that's a little, I don't know if I can get people to subscribe to that. So I started looking for diseases and news stories and stuff like that. And I came across just tons and tons of news stories about hidden mold in people's houses and how long-term inhalation of this stuff causes like really crazy problems. And if your sinuses were healthy, it's no problem. If you have healthy sinuses, you'll be able to just filter this stuff out and it'll be fine. But if you don't, it gets all clogged in there, it gets into your body, and then you start having problems with it. So I basically came up with the angle of, is there killer hidden fungus hiding in your home? And now that's something, if I say that in a mall, somebody's gonna be like, what? How do I find out?
Totally cool, man. Like I said at the beginning of this interview that we spent about 5-10 minutes brainstorming how to position this so that we could capture the audience's attention. And by the time we were done, I'm like, I'm excited. Like, I want to watch this video. So, all right. So how much time would it take? Because I already almost feel like I have the outline. You've already revealed it, how to take your offer and turn it into your niche offer and turn it, you basically go back to the drawing board and look at it from meta, right?
Yeah, you kind of want to look at like, what is the problem you're solving? And you want to get down to like basic human desires, and so all marketing, like even when you're selling short sales or, whatever niche product, dog training, you're not actually selling dog training. You're selling, every time I come home from work, I don't smell dog piss on my carpet. And that's what you're really selling. You're selling, there's an emotion, there's a problem that an actual human is having. And that's where you got to just sit back, have a cigar, have a glass of something, and just really think about like, what is the real like human desire and primary, I'm not getting the right word here, but the primary problems and emotions that the person is going through, and how can you say it in a way that like your cousin would understand? Or are you not able to invite your friends over because your dog embarrasses you? Or are you never able to take your dog to the dog park because he'll go wild and start fights? And it's like you just got to start thinking about like, okay, this person, they want to train their dog. Why do they want to train their dog? Are they worried that their dog might bite their newborn baby? Are they worried that every time they come home from work, the new carpets they just installed are gonna have accidents on them? And you just start thinking about the problems.
So then, like, to kind of make it more like worksheetable. The question people would ask, the audiences would ask themselves right now, question one is, what is the primal pain or the primal result that my customer wants?
Yeah, it's not even that. It's what is the primal emotion that the thing you are selling is driving? Like, what is the emotion behind the reason?
What's the primal emotion your product or service will result in?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then how does that relate to everyday life for lots of human beings? Not just people who are in the market for a short sale product or a dog training, but for everybody. And so like, just to drive home one more example, for the short selling, you're actually not selling short sales or wholesaling real estate. What you're selling is a better lifestyle. And, the reason why they would want to do real estate over make money online is maybe they think make money online is a bunch of scammers and hackers, or maybe they're afraid of the computer. But then you can tell a story about how real estate kings used to deal in real estate back in the day. Like, real estate has been around since the turn of the century, since we started living in caves, and so you can tell a lot more credibility into it. So it's at the primary emotion. The reason why the person wants to get into it is they want a better lifestyle. They're mad at their boss, their job sucks, or they hate their car or whatever, and they want to be able to pay their rent. They want a better lifestyle, and that's the primary thing behind it. And now that's something that everybody can relate to. Everybody wants a better lifestyle. Yeah, so that goes into like the BP oil spill one. I basically created banners that said, does the gas station, it was a gas station pump, a picture of a gas station pump on there, and it says, does the gas station owe you money? Find out here. And so then they go to the page, They find out it's about BP. And
I gotcha. So, but if you said BP oil spill, they're like, that's not me, even
right.
if
they heard about that already. They don't know, so, I mean, and then we even said, like, because he was targeting all of like Florida, we said, if you live in Florida, it's possible that the gas station owes you money. Click here to read about it.
Gotcha. All right. So to worksheet it again, the first question is, what's the primal emotion that your product or service will get your customer? And then the second follow-up to that?
The second is, how does that relate to all humans? You really got to say, like, okay, would all human beings be interested in that or want that problem solved? Or, you got to, it all comes down to, can you read your headline in the mall and like everybody around you would care?
Gotcha. Perfect. And then the reason we're doing this is, and one thing we could do is maybe even create a contest that says in the comments below this video, take your product or service as what it was before you watch this video, and then ask the 2 questions and make a new headline, and the best improved one, maybe you could at the party give them we could use them as a case study or something for how to help them with identify some hidden marketplaces where they could do some media buys.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at it. I do a lot of phone consultations on it, so I can do it in like 10 minutes.
Awesome. Well, very cool. Well, Justin, what are they going to learn? Tell folks a little bit more about what they're going to get, how to not lose your ass in media buying. Yeah. You want to expand on that a little bit so people can...
Yeah, so, I mean, everything that we just talked about right now is really only like 1 or 2 slides from my presentation, how not to lose your ass in media buying presentation. We talk about the different types of traffic and what you have to do with different types of traffic to convert it, because there's something you can do with JV traffic that works, but that won't work when you try and go out to Google, or that won't work when you try and go out to, like CPV pop-up ads and stuff like that. So we talk about the different types of traffic. We talk about the differences between cold traffic and warm traffic. We talk about how to warm up the traffic so that you can have a higher chance of converting it. We talk about landing pages. We talk about different banner ads and how to have a good banner ad versus a bad banner ad. And really, we just go in depth into not just how to create the angle on your product, but then how to then go out and get the traffic and make sure that that it's profitable, or that you have at least the highest chance of it being profitable instead of losing your ass in it.
Very cool. Because I had made the assumption that it would be more along the lines of like in stock trading, where you put a stop loss, or you know what I mean, so that it would have more to do in how you analyze it and where to buy traffic, where it will have a cap and you can't spend more than that unless. But you're saying it's got more to do in how to create the offer and how to drive it and warm it up and know whether or not, so that you don't have to have stop losses. Like you got to keep paying attention, but if you've done all this prelim work, it's gonna be less likely that you're even gonna want to stop it. You're just gonna want to pour money into it. Sheffrin taught me this back when I was part of Positive Changes, the hypnosis center that we were both part of way back in the day. And that's, if you can give a guy in the hallway $1 and he gives you back $3, how many dollars are you going to give him? As many as you can.
As many as you can.
Until he's decided that he can't give you any more, which there's always going to be a ceiling to any marketplace. So, but very cool, man. Well, I think that if people aren't enticed to come hear your presentation at the party, Thursday, April the 11th in Austin, Texas. So Good stuff, man. Any parting words before we wrap up?
No, just thanks for having me here, and can't wait to see everybody at the party.
All right. Yeah. Go to internetmarketingparty.com/tickets/Austin. Invite your friends, and we'll get, spread the word. This is one that's worth flying into, no matter where you're coming from. Justin's going to be flying in from sunny Florida to come enjoy a spring in Austin, Texas. So we'll see everybody else, and go RSVP, go register right now. Thanks.